the landscape has completely changed. And I think the businesses that are going to really capture the imagination, survive, and really start building towards a future that we can all participate in are the ones that are throwing out the playbook, the ones that are innovating and adapting and overcoming through either redefining what their value proposition is right now. The leadership takes a very detailed look and a very, very candid look at really what its value is today, and not based on yesterday's paradigms or even yesterday's metrics, but really redefining what value can they be today based on the changing landscape and changing behaviors of society. I think the one thing that we can all be certain of is that COVID-19 has accelerated this pace of change that we have been witnessing since 2018. In 2018, the statistic was 80% of global multinational firms were undergoing some form of digital transformation. And you can be sure that figure is 100% today. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to admit vulnerabilities. It's okay not to know. It's not okay to be opaque. It's not okay to stay closed. And it's not okay to not communicate. And so what leadership is needed right now is to have the mindset of being flexible, and then also to adapt by consulting with all stakeholders. That includes clients, that includes customers, and it includes the very people who are your best investors, your employees. Right now, we live in an age of digital transformation. We live in an age where technology has helped us all remain connected despite being physically forced apart. That is an incredible gift. And so every company must lean into the technology that is keeping a lot of these businesses and teams afloat, remain connected at a time when people physically can't even go into the office, and lend into the business continuity in a way that even 20, 30 years ago, it was nearly impossible. The leadership skills that are needs to understand the value of technology, not only in its current phase, but also how it can be implemented to create new pathways of value, not only for the customer, but also internally with infrastructure, how it communicates with its own people, its own stakeholders, and how it creates its own economy of scale internally. How, for example, blockchain or IoT or cloud or 5G or AI or quantum, this type of innovative thinking and taking a page out of technology infrastructure and how it can be applied in your own companies and really potentially even inspire new playbooks to be written right now. That's the kind of leadership that is required at the moment. Technology is a tool. Technology is simply a tool in the hands of those creators, business leaders, and people and founders, and simply a tool that in your imagination as a business leader, how you can apply those tools for the greatest efficiency. Absolutely, the disruption is deep. It's already deep, whether it was technology triggered or not. And certainly it has been a coronavirus triggered. Technology has been the tool that has allowed us to remain as a business and to create new avenues of communication and delivery to customers, clients, and employees alike. Technology is one of those things where business leaders may not necessarily have a full grasp on. And certainly there's a lot of fear pre-COVID that technology was going to replace. And that kind of thinking is, I think, yesterday's thinking. I think what we've seen right now in our current COVID state is that technology is a tool. How can we apply those tools in everything from keeping fit at home to teaching children online classes around the world, to continuing to trade and deliver services that keep some of the engine of the economy going. I think the attitudes have certainly shifted. It's shifted because people are using it more. They're seeing the value of it. And they're seeing the value of thinking about technology in a different way. Social media is a brilliant tool, once again, in the hands of humanity. And so when it is used with kindness and generosity and compassion and transparency and connection and communication, it is a brilliant tool that actually connects all of us, that helps us remain together in this fight, that allows us to share these ideas at a time when maybe 10, 20 years ago that this was nearly impossible at scale. And that not only my voice or your voice, but so many voices are of value, are being discovered and shared. That is an incredible gift that social media and technology has given us. Again, once again, in the hands of humanity, it can also take on sinister tones, and it can also be negative. There can also be a lot of pain and anger that is abound. And I think it is the responsibility of each and every one of us to remember one thing, that media literacy is not a right to be outsourced, not outsourced to journalists, not outsourced to media organizations. It should not be outsourced. You own the power to understand and check what you're reading. The tools of media literacy are there for everyone. And these are actually skills that need to be elevated and accelerated, certainly for the generation, this generation, the older generation, and the generation right behind us. That means you original source everything, you double source everything, you double check everything. Do not take at face value. There's certainly so many resources that are abound right now online, where communities of trust also allow you to learn the tools. Organizations like the Asian American Journalists Association, of which I'm a part of, really taking this to heart and being as transparent as possible and helping to educate readers, viewers, audience alike on these skill sets of the 21st century. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of positives. Let me start by saying this. The positives that I see coming out of COVID is this. This is a time for courage, and this is a time of courage. Those of us and those of you who take on the mindset of leaning into this new opportunity for growth, because you can be sure there is growth here. That the devastation that we're seeing in our global economy is akin to a brush fire. But like the stage after brush fire, the time after any brush fire, new growth abounds. So how are you preparing to nurture those seedlings? How are you preparing to address this new growth? How are you preparing to participate in this new growth? It really is about mindset. Coronavirus has leveled the playing field. The competition based on old metrics and old playbooks are no longer. There are a new set of rules that are being written right now, and they're changing ever by the day because people's tastes are changing, people's sensibilities are changing. The world is waking up based on this common shared experience. And so you can either lean in, because the alternative is frankly not an option. So lean in. That mindset of resilience, of adaptability, of flexibility and innovation is being nurtured right now. It's going to create a foundation for a future that is coming. It's already here. It's already growing. And this time in which we nurture our courage and we grow our courage is just going to set us up for seizing the kind of opportunities that will present themselves for those who wish to see it. Those are the positives that I see. And for those who are waking up and who are inspired to participate in a meaningful way for a global society who's coming together under common shared experience, that's going to take a lot of courage. It's going to take a lot of foresight. It's going to take a lot of inspiration. But the next generation is being groomed for it right now. It's going to be incredible to see.